Something just happened this morning that most people completely missed. And I am not talking about something subtle. I am not talking about a shift you have to squint to feel, or a change that takes months to notice. I am talking about something that moved through the atmosphere at 5:45 this morning like a door being kicked open. And the people who understand what just happened are already feeling it in their chest. Venus just entered Aries. And if those three words do not immediately mean something to you, stay right here. Because in the next 10 minutes, I am going to show you exactly why today is one of the most electrically charged days of this entire year. Why what just happened this morning is the answer to a question your heart has been asking for months. And why the version of you that has been quietly, patiently, sometimes painfully waiting for permission to want what you want does not have to wait anymore. Not tomorrow. Not when everything is perfect, not when you feel ready enough or brave enough or healed enough. Right now. The permission arrived this morning, and this video is going to show you exactly how to use it. Let me paint you a picture of what just happened in the sky this morning. For the past several weeks, Venus, the planet that governs everything you love, desire, value, and believe you deserve, has been moving through Pisces. And Pisces is the most tender, most dreamy, most quietly longing sign in the entire zodiac. In Pisces, Venus whispers. She hopes from a distance. She feels everything so deeply that sometimes she forgets to act on any of it. She waits for the right moment. She softens her desires so they do not take up too much space. She loves quietly and hopes that someone notices. And if that energy sounds familiar to you, if the last few weeks have felt like you were carrying beautiful, private dreams that you were somehow too cautious to declare out loud, that is exactly why. But this morning at 5:45, Venus walked out of Pisces and stepped directly into Aries. And Aries is an entirely different world. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, the sign of the pioneer, the warrior, the courageous heart that moves to what it wants without waiting for a guarantee that things will work out. Aries does not negotiate with its own desires. It does not shrink to make others comfortable. It does not rehearse the conversation 100 times before having it. It simply, and this is the word that matters most, acts. When Venus moves into Aries, something extraordinary happens. The planet of love and worth stops whispering and starts speaking in a clear, direct, unapologetic voice. The planet of desire stops waiting to be chosen and starts choosing. The planet of what you value stops asking whether it deserves what it wants and starts pursuing it with a fire that is impossible to ignore. That fire ignited this morning, and it is burning inside you right now, whether you can feel it yet or not. I need to connect two things here because they are not separate events. They are one perfectly orchestrated sequence unfolding exactly as it was always meant to. 3 days ago, the blood moon eclipse arrived, and what that eclipse did at its deepest, most personal level was remove the invisible ceiling, the ceiling of what you believe you are allowed to want, the quietly inherited belief that desire itself is somehow dangerous, that hoping too much leads to disappointment, that the safest version of living is keeping your needs modest, your dreams realistic, and your heart carefully protected from the full risk of wanting something completely. The eclipse did not just shift the sky, it reached inside you and pulled out the belief system that was keeping the ceiling too low. And now, 3 days later, Venus in Aries arrives into that newly cleared space like a torch being carried into a room that has just been swept clean. This is the sequence. The eclipse removed what was blocking you. Venus in Aries is now showing you what was always waiting on the other side of that block. Think about what you have been holding back, the desire you have been qualifying, the feeling you have been managing. The thing you want so clearly and so specifically that it almost frightens you, because wanting it that much means that not having it would actually hurt. That desire is not a liability. It is not naive. It is not too much. It is the most honest signal your soul has ever sent you. And for the next 24 days, from today through March 30th, the universe is asking you to finally stop treating your own desires like they need to earn the right to exist. The eclipse prepared the ground. Venus in Aries just lit the fire. Now it's your turn to walk towards the warmth. Let me get specific about love, because this is where most people will feel the impact of this shift the fastest and the most personally. Venus in Aries brings a radical, almost shocking honesty to matters of the heart. It strips away the performance, the careful management of how much you show, the strategic distance you keep to protect yourself from the vulnerability of being fully seen. Under this energy, the heart stops being diplomatic and starts being direct. And for many of you, that directness is going to feel like a relief so enormous it almost brings you to your knees. Because you have been performing in love for a very long time. Performing calm when you felt deeply. Performing indifference when you cared completely. Performing patience when what you actually wanted was to simply say, "This matters to me. You matter to me, and I am done pretending that you don't." Venus in Aries gives you the courage to say that. Not recklessly, not impulsively in a way you will regret, but honestly, cleanly, from a place of someone who has done the inner work, cleared the old patterns, and now is standing in the fire of their own worth, saying, "I know what I want, and I am no longer willing to accept less just because asking for more feels risky." For those of you who are in a relationship, you are about to discover very quickly what is real and what has been performance. Venus in Aries will not let you keep tolerating what you have been tolerating. Not because something dramatic happens, but because your capacity to pretend simply evaporates. What didn't bother you before will suddenly bother you enormously. Not because you have become difficult, but because you have become honest. And for those of you who are not in a relationship, who have been in a season of solitude and quiet reconstruction, Venus in Aries is arriving specifically for you. Because the love this transit is most urgently calling you towards is not another person, it is yourself. The bold, specific, unapologetic love of the person you have been becoming in the quiet. The one who healed things most people never even acknowledged were broken. The one who rebuilt their worth from the inside out without anyone watching or applauding. That person deserves to be pursued with fire. Today is the day you start. And now the part that I know many of you have been waiting for, because Venus doesn't just govern love, she governs worth, abundance, what you believe you deserve to receive from this life in every form it can arrive. Venus in Aries brings a fearlessness to the way you pursue what you are worth that has been almost completely absent for the past several weeks. In Pisces, the energy around abundance was gentle but passive. You could feel the desire for more recognition, more financial ease in your life for the things that actually matter, but the action felt premature. Asking felt like overstepping. Moving towards what you deserved seemed somehow arrogant. Let me tell you something directly. That is not humility. That is a wound wearing humility's clothing. Real humility knows its worth and asks for it anyway. Real humility does not shrink from abundance because abundance might be too much. Real humility says, I have done the work, I know my value, and I am going to pursue what reflects that value, not because I need to prove something, but because I have finally stopped needing to apologize for being worth something. Venus in Aries is the cosmic permission to ask for what you are worth, to charge what you deserve, to walk towards the opportunity without waiting to be invited. To stop making yourself easy to underestimate because you were afraid that showing your full value might make other people uncomfortable. Something is about to open in the next 24 days. An opportunity, a conversation, a door that has been sitting slightly ajar for months that is about to swing fully open.
and the only thing that determines whether you walk through it is whether you believe, truly, specifically, without qualification, that you deserve what is on the other side. You do. Everything that happened in the last 3 months, the eclipse, the clearing, the quiet rebuilding, all of it was making you ready for the moment that is arriving right now. Do not negotiate yourself out of it.
Before I close, I want to welcome you to today's comment highlight. Someone watching yesterday's video wrote something that stopped me completely. They said, "For the first time in years, I woke up this morning and did not immediately think about what I needed to fix about myself. I just thought, I am actually enough." And that thought felt like the bravest thing I have ever done. I am actually enough, and that thought felt like the bravest thing I have ever done. That is Venus in Aries in its purest form. Not the performance of confidence, not the loud declaration that has to convince itself by being said in public, but the quiet, private, completely personal moment when you wake up and simply know, without evidence, without proof, without anyone else's confirmation, that you are enough, exactly as you are right now. That is where all of it begins. The love, the abundance, the bold pursuit of what you want, the willingness to be seen in your full specificity rather than your carefully managed version. It all begins with that single revolutionary thought: I am enough. And today, with Venus igniting in Aries and the ground still soft and open from the eclipse, that thought is more available to you than it has been in a very long time. So here is what I want you to carry into the rest of this day. Stop waiting for someone to discover your worth. Stop softening your desires so they take up less space. Stop rehearsing the conversation you have been meaning to have for months. Stop treating your own heart like it needs to earn the right to want what it wants. Venus in Aries lasts until March 30th, and in that time, if you are willing to meet this energy with even half the courage it is offering you, something in your life is going to move. Something that has been still for far too long, something that you thought you had given up on, or convinced yourself was not realistic, or quietly stopped believing was actually meant for you. It was always meant for you. You simply had to become someone bold enough to stop denying it. That person is who you are right now. And this exact moment, this exact day, this exact fire beginning to move through your life, this is only the beginning. This is the waking soul.